Hey everyone, it's Brano, and I'm here to answer the question, now that I have released a financially successful game, what's next? So, Heal to Death succeeded barely. It should give me minimum wage, which is really awesome for the time that I spent developing it. So, I'm really happy with how it's gone, but despite all of this, I will not be quitting my job. So, it's really cool having a success under your belt, like especially a financial success rather than a subjective, I feel good about my game success. But it's not enough to give me the confidence to go full time. And it's largely because I've seen people in much better positions than me, and they quit, they go full time making game dev, and then they're never able to repeat their success. And they were making games which had a lot more sales than me, and were making games in a far less competitive market. So I am not 100% confident that I can repeat my success, and so that is one of the reasons why I am not going full time. The other reason is that I don't actually mind my job that much. It's work from home, it's got good conditions, and I'm actually serving a community that I happen to be a part of. So there is something special when you feel a pain in your real life, and by fixing a problem at your job, that pain goes away. That's a really unique experience. So I think that for me, I have enough reason to stay put for now and slowly work towards my next project. But if you're somebody else, that's totally reasonable. If you are in my position to quit and go full time game dev, I'm not going to stop you there. It's within reason. In life, you do have to occasionally take risks, and I am not a risk taker. So, what about my next game? Well, I am going to be making a RTS, which is a terrible genre, and I'm going to be making a RTS that is designed around a controller with all the things I like in RTS, but also fixing my main issue with RTS games in that they require way too much APM. And I'm not talking about 150 APM. I'm complaining about the fact that I am stressed doing 80 to 90 actions per minute. That's not very high, and in the MMR ranges that I normally play RTS at, I'm regularly versing people with 120 to 130 APM all the time. So I'm not using APM as an excuse. I'm saying playing at 80 APM is stressful. That's a lot of actions per minute, and I'd like to reduce this in a way that where I don't feel the same amount of hypertension that I do playing other RTS. And the things that I really love about RTS are the base building, the army building, getting up good resources, and then a quirk that I have is having really powerful units that change the course of combat. My favorite is the Shaman in Populous the Beginning, where you can do like these amazing world-bending spells, like summoning a gigantic volcano in the opponent's base and destroying all their buildings. I 100% love that. So if you wanted to see what I'm making, I've got it on Twitter and on Blue Sky. It's still very early on, and it's all like programming art and stuff. So we're just making the prototype. It's not a playable game really yet. It's still just me building up a prototype so that I can eventually get people to play test it and just see, hey, is there any fun in this whatsoever? Now, when I was making this, I was like, when I started making this, I got a comment which said, nice tooth and tail clone, bro. So tooth and tail, yeah. So this is another RTS which was built around a controller, and I decided to pay full price for it because I wanted to try this out. despite it regularly going on 90% sales. It's like, no, I want to play this now. I want to learn how this game did what it did. And I gotta say, there's a lot of design aspects that I really like about it, but it is very simple. It is a very, very simple game, and I want more control and more actions within the game. So, I don't know. I think you should check it out. This trailer is not showing the gameplay very well. Like, Jesus Christ, guys, you're marketing shit. Anyway, I am very early on in development, and there is a lot to learn for me. I've made tower defense games, but I haven't made RTS, and RTS is a lot more going on, and so I haven't really done any of this, so there's a lot to learn. In addition to the RTS stuff, I'm learning how to set up a good controller scheme, which is a lot of trial and error and making small UI elements to enable certain things, and that's another problem I have to solve. And then there's networking. I have never made a multiplayer game in my life, so I'm learning all the fundamentals and all this, and what's really nice is that I'm understanding it, and it looks like me making a multiplayer game is perfectly achievable. But even when I learn everything, it's pretty clear that this is going to make the programming of the game twice as hard as it once was, because you've not only got to consider the player's client, but you got to consider all the other clients, and it's a new way of thinking that not only has a challenge on top of it, but once you understand and once you have that way of thinking, there's just so much more that you have to do in order to make your game function. And you cannot take shortcuts as easily as maybe you once could in a single player game. It really is just so much harder when you have to consider multiple clients. Now, I will learn this, and I think that I've needed to learn how to do multiplayer games regardless. So I'm keen on just making this prototype, and then after I make the prototype, I will see if this is a game that I want to continually making. And if it's not a game I want to continue to make, the RTS game, throwing it out is not going to feel that bad, because it's going to be a really good learning experience for me. So, as I really do believe that in order for me to continue to make games that have a chance at standing out, I have to delve into multiplayer. There are so many people getting into game dev, and the barrier of entry has never been lower, and that basically causes that the easy to make games and the easy to make genres will become extraordinarily saturated. And at that point, you need a extraordinarily good game in that genre to have something that stands out, that has a hook. And I think that you can get away with a lot more you could just fundamentally make your game more interesting by offering a co-op experience. And I think that is something that I need to lean towards regardless. So I don't really want to make multiplayer only experiences, but I would like to start adding multiplayer as an option within my game. So I'm probably going to need a couple more months to really get this prototype in a spot where I will decide, and it's going to be a learning experience. So it's kind of cool that despite the fact that I've had some success, I'm already being humbled at just how difficult the next journey for me and my game dev journey is going to be. So that's it for me. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.